Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. We are doing the first chapter in the first book, that is Constitution, Why and How. So now we are discussing about this key, how the Indian Constitution was made, what was the composition of the Constituent Assembly, how it came into effect. We have discussed all these things, and one more thing which we are discussing is that our constitution has it is we can say more than 70 years has passed when our constitution was made, and still our constitution is as effective as it used to be at the time of adoption, implementation, and it is considered to be as one of the most successful constitutions in the world. So what are the reasons behind it? And we have discussed the first reason. In this we have seen that this constituent assembly is the composition of constituent assembly was such that it represented each and every group of the country, though it was not composed on the basis of universal adult franchise. Still we find that each and every group was there in the constituent assembly. Each and every group got representation in the constituent assembly, because as we see that we have discussed that 28 members from the scheduled caste were there in the assembly. And the most important thing is the dominance of Congress in the constituent assembly. It has the Congress has 82% of the seats in the assembly after the partition. So this 82% means most of the members were from Congress, and at that time Congress was not a party of any particular class or caste or group or any ideological group also. So Congress was a coalition of different social groups and ideological groups. So if Congress was having 82% of the seats in the Constituent Assembly, it means that Congress in which all the groups were represented, that was having a majority of the seats. So in this way we can say that the representation of each and every group was there in the Constituent Assembly, and this is one of the most important reason for the effectivity of the constitution, why the constitution is considered to be one of the most successful constitution, why people still have so much respect for the constitution. This is because of the composition of one of the reason is composition of the constituent assembly, in which we find that all groups got representation in constituent assembly. In the okay, and now we come to the next point, the principle of deliberation. So what do we mean by the principle of deliberation? What we find that the composition was such that all the groups were represented, though it was not based on any universal adult franchise, still all the groups were represented in the Constituent Assembly. And now we find that the procedure the procedure which was adopted by the Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution, and the values the members brought to their deliberation. This is what make the Constitution very authoritative. It means we are still following the Constitution. We accept the authority of the Constitution because of the procedure which was adopted by the Constituent Assembly and the values the members were having when they were doing debates and discussion. So any assembly that claims to be representative, it is very much desirable that diverse section of society should participate, है ना. जो भी सोसाइटी के अंदर जितने भी ग्रुप्स हैं उन सब का रिप्रेजेंटेशन होना चाहिए, ठीक है. Now, other than this, it is also important that they should participate not only as representative of their own group. What is important, what we said now, the values the members were carrying, that was very important, because what we find during the debate and discussions and deliberation in the Constituent Assembly, the members were not there to represent their own group. And the members were doing deliberation in such a manner that that should be in the interest of the whole nation, not they were just talking about the interest of their own group or community. This is the most important thing. And there were disagreement among members, but what we find that very few of these disagreements were because of this fact that members were protecting their own interest. इस वजह से नहीं हुआ था डिसएग्रीमेंट्स था. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में मेंबर्स के बीच में डिसएग्रीमेंट नहीं होता था, लेकिन डिसएग्रीमेंट के पीछे जो रीज़न होता है कि एक जो पर्टिकुलर मेंबर है, ही इज़ ओनली प्रोटेक्टिंग द interest of his own community, and the another member is also protecting the other member is also protecting only the interest of his own community. तो इसमें जो इस तरह का डिसएग्रीमेंट होता है, दैट इज़ वेरी वी कैन से कि इसमें नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को इग्नोर किया जाता है. बट हमारे यहाँ जो जिस तरह से डिसएग्रीमेंट्स होता था, उसमें बहुत रेयर ही ऐसे डिसएग्रीमेंट्स हैं जो इस वजह से हुए क्योंकि पर्टिकुलर मेंबर्स जो हैं वो दे आर ओनली प्रोटेक्टिंग देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट. ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. सो द मेंबर्स वर देयर to debate, to discuss for the interest of the whole country, है ना. And what we find that so many differences were there, like the first difference we can say first, or not, it's not about order. So many differences, like India should adopt a centralized or decentralized system of government. What kind of government? Centralized होना चाहिए, union होना चाहिए, या फेडरलिज्म होना चाहिए, है ना. What should be the relation if we go for federalism, then what should be the relation between the state and the center, है ना. What should be the powers of the judiciary, and what to do with the right to property? Should we adopt right to property or not? So these so many issues were there in which we find that disagreement were there. But at that time we find one provision of the Constitution which passed without any debate, without any conflict, without any disagreement, and that was the इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट सफरेज, है ना. इट मीन्स कि जो भी एक एडल्ट एज के जिसको भी एडल्ट माना जाए, 18 और 21, उस समय तो 21 ही माना गया था हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. तो एडल्ट जो सिटीज़न है उन सबको राइट टू वोट होना. सो दिस वाज एक्सेप्टेड विदाउट, दिस वाज पास्ड विदाउट एनी डिसएग्रीमेंट, है ना. So the members they felt no need at all to discuss this issue, that who should have the right to vote or who should not have the right to vote, है ना. And we see that this explains that how much important place was given to the democratic commitment of the country. The assembly members, they were very much aware that we all are committed to democracy, and we must ensure, we must establish a democratic constitution. So here we will also come across with one term, that is public reason. So what do we see? What we find that the members of the Constituent Assembly were engaged in public reason. It means that the members placed a great emphasis on discussion and reasoned argument. It's not कि they were there only to advance the interest of their own group. No, they gave principled reason to other members for their position if they are holding any view. So it's not कि they are holding this view only because they have to protect the interest of their own the interest of the members of their own group, but what they did that they gave a principled reason. There should be some principle. It's not कि हम उस ग्रुप को बिलोंग करते तो हम उस ग्रुप के इंटरेस्ट के लिए कहेंगे. आपको आप जो भी कह रहे हैं उसके पीछे एक प्रिंसिपल रीज़न होना चाहिए, है ना. एंड देन this principle, because of this principal reasons, the other members will be convinced to accept that, है ना. So this act of giving reasons to others makes you move away from simply a narrow consideration of your own interest, because you have to give reasons to others to make them go along with your viewpoint. Now, why will they go along with your viewpoint if you are only protecting the interest of the members of your own community? If you are giving such reasons, principled reasons, why this provision should be adopted, there is some principled reason behind this, then only the others will move along. They will go along with your viewpoint. They will support you. Otherwise, they will not support you, because as if you are protecting the interest of your own community member, then I am also here to protect the interest of my members of my own community. So I will support you, why I will go with the members of your community, है ना. तो जब तक ये प्रिंसिपल्ड रीज़न नहीं दिया जाएगा, तब तक कोई भी आप ये एक्सपेक्ट मत करिए कि किसी भी अदर कम्युनिटी के जो लीडर हैं वो आपके साथ आएंगे. तो दिस वॉज नॉट डन इन आवर कंस्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली बाय द मेंबर्स. द मेंबर्स गिव प्रिंसिपल्ड रीज़न बिहाइंड इट. दिस इज कॉल्ड पब्लिक रीज़न. इसी को हम पब्लिक रीज़न कहते हैं, ताकि कोई हमारी कम्युनिटी को बिलोंग ना भी करे तो भी वो हमारे साथ चले, है ना. सो अगर हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के डिबेट्स को देखते हैं तो ये तो आपने पहले भी क्लास 8 में भी आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ा था. उसमें जो भी हमारे डिबेट्स हुए इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, जो भी डिस्कशन हुआ, ओरल डिस्कशंस ऑल्सो, रिटन तो है ही, ओरल डिस्कशन, दे ऑल आर रिकॉर्डेड, है ना. पूरा का पूरा बुक के फॉर्म में कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली डिबेट्स के नाम से 12 वॉल्यूम में ये हमारे पार्लियामेंट की जो लाइब्रेरी है उसमें ये रखा हुआ है, ठीक है. तो ये जो बुक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली डिबेट्स वाली जो बुक है, उसमें हम ये देखते हैं कि हर क्लॉज जो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, उस पर इतनी ज़्यादा डिबेट्स हुए, डिस्कशन हुए, स्क्रूटनी हुई, जिसमें कोई भी मेंबर, मोस्ट ऑफ द, मतलब बहुत रेयरली ऐसा होता था, हर समय यही होता था कि पब्लिक रीज़न ही दिया जाता था, क्योंकि वो सारी चीज़ें हमारे सामने अवेलेबल है ना. और ये बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि ये हमारे जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकिंग की हिस्ट्री है वो एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट उसका ये चैप्टर है. और ये उतना ही इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है जितना कि फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन या अमेरिकन रेवोल्यूशन था। और इसकी सबसे बड़ी बात, हमारे पास रिकॉर्ड्स भी अवेलेबल है ना। तो दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द रीज़न वाई दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज़ सो मच अथॉरिटी इवन आफ्टर 70 years of its making, है ना। And now next we will see procedure. The third point is procedure. And now we see what was the procedure. The procedure adopted in the Constituent Assembly. We find that the Constituent Assembly had 8 major committees on different subjects, and leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, B.R. Ambedkar, so the leaders of such such popular and respected leaders were the head of these committees. And we see that these people, Pandit Nehru, Rajendra Prasad or Sardar Patel or Ambedkar, these people were not someone who agreed with each other on many things. There were differences of opinion among these leaders, like Ambedkar, who was a bitter critic of Mahatma Gandhi, है ना, and Congress also. He accused them of not doing enough for the upliftment of the scheduled caste. So there was differences of opinion among the leaders. Sardar Patel, if we see the example of Sardar Patel and Nehru, they were also having disagreement on many issues, है ना, but still they worked together. And this is very important, to have differences of opinion. If you are able to have different to keep difference of opinion, to express this difference of opinion, it means that everything is going good, है ना। जहाँ पर आपको अपने डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन को एक्सप्रेस नहीं करने दिया जाता है, तो दैट इज़ हाईली अनहेल्दी। बट हमारी जो कंस्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के अंदर जो प्रोसीजर है, जो लीडर्स हैं, दे वर हैविंग डिसएग्रीमेंट्स, स्टिल दे वर्क टुगेदर, है ना। एंड अगर हम कमिटीज़ को देखें तो ईच कमिटी drafted particular provisions of the constitution, and after this drafting of the particular provision of the constitution, then they were subjected to debate by the entire assembly. This was the system, है ना, कि पहले जो कमिटी है वो ड्राफ्ट कर लेगी किसी पर्टिकुलर प्रोविज़न को, फिर उस जो प्रोविज़न है उस पर जो अदर मेंबर्स हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के, वो उस पर डिबेट करेंगे, डिस्कस करेंगे। और यूजुअली जो है वो एक ऐसा अटेम्प्ट किया जाता था कंसेंसस का। क्या होता है कंसेंसस? कंसेंसस से हम मीन करते हैं कि जहाँ पर सबकी सहमति हो, हर कोई जिसको एक्सेप्ट करना है। मेजॉरिटी से डिसीज़न लेने की मतलब डिस्करेज किया जाता था कि नहीं, क्योंकि अगर मेजॉरिटी से डिसीज़न लिया जा रहा है तो माइनॉरिटी इज़ नॉट विथ यू। बट व्हाट वाज द अटेम्प्ट? द अटेम्प्ट वाज टू कि कोई भी जो डिसीज़न पे हम पहुँच रहे हैं वो कंसेंसस से पहुँचे, सबकी रजामंदी हो। माइनॉरिटी मेजॉरिटी वाला कॉन्सेप्ट आना ही नहीं चाहिए, कोशिश यही की जाती थी। एंड ये माना जाता था कि अगर कोई भी जो प्रोविज़न है वो किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप के लिए नुकसान वाला नहीं हो, है ना, सबके हिसाब से समझ के बूझ के तब ऐसे काम किया जाता था। और कुछ ऐसे भी प्रोविज़न्स थे जिस पर वोटिंग भी होती थी, है ना। सम प्रोविज़न्स वर सब्जेक्ट टू द वोट ऑल्सो, and we see that in all the instances every single argument or query or concern was responded to with great care. It's not कि अगर किसी को कोई कंप्लेन है, किसी की क्वेरी है, तो उसको रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दिया जाता था, वो उनको पूरा का पूरा रिस्पॉन्स दिया जाता था इन राइटिंग, है ना। and we find that our this constituent assembly met for 166 days. अगर ऐसे तो constitution बनने में हमारे 2 years 11 मंथ्स एंड 18 डेज का टाइम लगा, बट कितने दिनों के लिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सेशन में रही, दैट इज़ 166 डेज, है ना. एंड सो दिस वॉज द procedure. One more thing, the sessions of the Constituent Assembly were open to the press and public. आप प्रेस के लिए भी ओपन था, मतलब इट वॉज कम्प्लीटली ट्रांसपेरेंट, है ना, और पब्लिक के लिए भी ये ओपन था. ओके, सो वी हैव डिस्कस्ड three points or 3 reasons why the constitution is still effective, still it is having the authority over the people of the country. And now we see the next point, and that is inheritance of the nationalist movement. So this is also one of the important reason that the constitution inherited the national movement. It's not कि हमने अभी कहा कि 2 साल 11 महीने 18 दिन लगा था. So don't think that constitution was made only during this period. It was only 2 years, 11 months and 18 days in which the constitution was made. Actually, we find that the making of the constitution was actually started with the national movement itself, है ना, which was a fight against the British rule by the people of the country. So the process has started there only. That is why we are seeing inheritance of the nationalist movement. And as we know, our country is full of diversity, and this diversity got represented in the Constituent Assembly of India. And this Constituent Assembly of India, it could not have functioned if there was no background consensus on the main principle, because इतनी ज़्यादा जहाँ पर डाइवर्सिटी है, अगर इस डाइवर्सिटी में कोई एक जिसको हम कहें कि बैकग्राउंड कंसेंसस नहीं होता, तो फिर इतना ज़्यादा डिफरेंसेस ऑफ ओपिनियन आता कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकिंग जो है वो बहुत ही मुश्किल हो जाता. तो इतनी जो डाइवर्सिटी थी, उसके बाद भी हमने एक बहुत ही सक्सेसफुली कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बना लिया. तो इसके पीछे यही रीज़न है कि एक बैकग्राउंड हमारे लिए तैयार हो गया था, है ना. जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का जो कहा जाए, जिसको कि बैकग्राउंड तैयार था, मेजर चीज़ें क्या होनी है, इट वॉज डिसाइडेड ड्यूरिंग द नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट, है ना. जो हमने इतनी लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी फ्रीडम के लिए, उस लड़ाई में ही ये सारे जो प्रिंसिपल्स थे वो फिक्स हो चुके थे कि जब हमें आज़ादी मिलेगी तो हमें क्या चाहिए. बिकॉज we were fighting not only to remove the British rule from India, but we were fighting also for the establishment of democracy in our country, है ना. So the principles were taking shape during the nationalist movement itself. And we see that this Constituent Assembly, actually it was giving concrete shape and form to the principles it had inherited from the nationalist movement. The principles, the ideals, which are only in an abstract form, है ना. The principles, the ideals, the views, everything is in abstract form. So these principles were existing in abstract form during the nationalist movement, but they were given concrete shape by the Constituent Assembly, है ना. So this Constituent Assembly gave concrete shape to the principles for which the ground was prepared during the nationalist movement. So during the nationalist movement, so many questions were there, like what should be the shape and form of government India should have when it become independence, what values the country should uphold the inequalities which were prevailing in that time of society, they should be overcome. So all these were there during the nationalist movement, and all these forced in those debates which were given their final form in the constitution, है ना. ये सारी चीज़ें जो पीछे से तैयार होकर के एकदम बनी हुई थी, बस उस पर डिबेट्स एंड डिस्कशंस होना था, फाइनलाइज करना था, बैकग्राउंड आपका तैयार था. So this is the reason why our constitution is so much respectful. It has so much authority, and we can say that this objective resolution which was brought by Nehru, and this objective resolution moved by Nehru in 1946. Actually, this objective resolution defined the aims of the assembly. This is very important for you to remember and understand the objective resolution. Objective resolution. What is this objective resolution? It is it defines the aims of the assembly. For what purpose this constituent assembly is formed, है ना. It was moved by Nehru in 1946, and this resolution actually it expresses the aspirations and values behind the constitution. What are the aspirations of the people, and what values the constitution is supposed to uphold? All these were expressed by this objective resolution, and we see that and in this objective resolution we find that our constitution gave institutional expressions to fundamental commitments like equality, liberty, democracy, sovereignty, and an identity which is not based on religion or caste or anything like that. Only nationalist identity should be there. So our constitution is not only it's a collection of rules and procedures, but our constitution is a moral commitment to establish a government that will fulfill the promises that the nationalist movement held before the people, है ना. So constitution का aim है, ये हमारा एक it is morally committed to establish that type of government which was the demand of the people during the nationalist movement. So this is very explained in a very precise manner, in a very proper manner in the objective resolution. So now we will see what are the main points of objective resolution. So first is India is an independent, sovereign and republic. So in this term which is used, we need to understand independent. You know what do we mean by independent? So you all know the meaning of independent. Independent means we should be things should be in our control. Now the second term which is very important to understand, sovereignty. It means that the country is supreme. No one is above the country, internally and externally. And any country, any foreign country cannot dictate us. Like America, it's a very powerful country, but still it cannot dictate us, you know. So this is external sovereignty, and internal sovereignty means the government is the supreme authority. There is no one above the government, but here you must understand the government is having this supreme authority only for 5 years. And after 5 years elections will be held, and the government will be formed by some other party, may be formed by some other party. So this is what this is, this we can say, the actually who changes the government, it is people, है ना. असली शक्ति किसके पास है, जनता के पास है. तो this is the sovereignty lies with the people. So we will continue with this discussion in the next class.